I'm going to share a little bit with you today. And, I actually had something a little bit different planned for you guys today. After some interaction with you guys yesterday, I had probably, maybe 200 conversations, and over probably 20% of those were asking me about specifics. Some stuff that they've seen me do before live, some stuff that they've seen online. And it's about leadership and culture. And they're like, we'd really like you to touch on, more, go in depth on culture, how to build a culture. And these conversations just kept happening yesterday. So, I had a conversation late last night, which I'll get into the details here shortly. That actually, it was probably 11:30, almost 12 o'clock last night. And I talked to one other lady, and what she said to me, I was like, I got to change it. I got to change everything that I had planned, because this is what's actually important to the majority of the people that I talked to yesterday. So I do have a few slides prepared for you guys, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those. I'm going to spend time talking about what's really, really important, and not just sales, but in any industry. I do have my little cheat sheet here, so if you catch me looking down. So that's why I changed it. Every single person in here is a business owner, an aspiring business owner, whether you're in real estate, tech, whatever your industry, right? We're all leaders, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you have a business or not. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can take it all the way down to if you have a family, whether you're married, whether you're a single parent, you are a leader in one way or another. And if you're just a single person on your own, well, you're the leader of yourself. And our obligation as leaders is to secure the future, truly, by any means necessary, for ourselves, for our families, for our companies, for our teammates, for our employees. Our main job is to anticipate. I don't like reading, by the way, if you can tell. Anticipate problems proactively, deal with any unforeseen events should they arise. And to do this, we need a set of tools. We need resources. And AI, especially for me, because I'm going to tell you exactly how AI has impacted my business, or our business, and the sales company personally. But we need a set of tools to do this. And we all know, and you've been hearing it for weeks or however long you've been following us, AI is the answer, right? We know AI is the future. Every successful company, every successful entrepreneur is going to be operating in now or in the near future. The most successful ones are going to be using AI. They're going to be AI-powered companies, AI-powered individuals. Now, a lot of things with AI, when it came to me, when Brian was obsessing over this even 2 years ago, I never really paid too much attention. I just kept plugging away, stayed in my lane, because, I oversee our entire sales division, right? That's my lane. And with that said, we came across all these problems all the time, right? With automation, with being effective, what we're doing, being effective where we're investing our time. Because my time, let me put this down. My strengths are spending time with the team, motivation, inspiration, sales tactics, sales strategies. And guys, I've trained at this point in my career, I have trained hundreds of sales professionals. I've managed sales teams. I've been through a few different industries at the highest levels. I've had the opportunity to come on here 8.5 years ago, partner with Brian and Francis, and I'll tell that story here shortly. And so I've reached a lot of levels of success. But over the years, and as we scaled, some of our biggest problems were managing, not effectively, but identifying problems, identifying issues, right? And as a sales professional, a lot of times we don't find out that there's problems. We don't find out that there's issues until we're halfway through our month. And then it's an uphill battle. We had nothing in place. We had sophisticated CRMs, right? We had all these different things, but they weren't really giving us the information when we actually had problems. So all we were doing is spending tons of hours every single month trying to identify those, listening to calls, trying to find out, excuse me, trying to find out where the problems are, identify them. Then we have to take the teams off the phone, train them. So it's in a lot of ways, as much success as we were having, it was still horribly ineffective. And we did one simple thing with AI, and it started with ChatGPT. I mean, it's morphed from there to where we're looking at different systems, implementing to kind of tag on top of that. Because when people think AI, they think, okay, I got all this technology, I can implement all these different things. And for some people, they need to. But for us, it was one simple thing that allowed me, and it was a simple thing of an AI prompt. There's like 3 main prompts. You guys might have heard this online, but there's like 3 main prompts that we use through just simple chat GPT. That's where it started. And those prompts told us exactly where the problems were. It was like we used transcriptions to put into chat GPT. We had these prompts that told us exactly what we were looking for to grade the calls. And it changed the entire game for us to where we were digging and digging and digging to find what the problem was, then trying to fix it, right, as an uphill battle, to where now that is all on autopilot for us. We don't have to dig for the information. We can identify problems in real time. And it's completely changed the game to where I can get back doing what I am passionate about, which is mostly what I'm doing right now, talking, inspiring, training, developing my team. That's where I truly thrive. And, you know, creating a culture starts with leadership. And I'm talking about a phenomenal culture where your people and your employees will bleed for you, right? And in my last presentation at our last event, I spent a lot of time on leadership. I'm going to break it down for you guys real quick on my philosophies of leadership. And then I'm going to get into a couple of stories, a couple of examples, and then talk about the conversations I had yesterday to kind of change what I was doing today. So, the foundation of leadership. As a leader, you must be passionate. You have to lead by example. You have to be selfless. You have to create a culture, okay? Now, where it comes to culture, leaders must, I can't really read that well. It's blurry for me, but passionate, yeah. No, okay. Now I'm relaxed. Okay. Oh, no, thank you very much. No, but honestly, guys, and I appreciate your patience with that because I did try to put this together the best I could based on scratching what I had. But yeah, you have to be passionate. You have to be willing to give more of yourself than you ever thought possible. Being a leader, giving to your team is, people think, well, yeah, as a manager, I train them, we script train, we do all these different things. But truly having a passion for what you do, understanding that you're going to have to give everything you got to the people who depend on you, especially if you're new to management, if you're new to business ownership, giving of yourself. I mean, you have to be completely selfless. And when I say I give everything, guys, I give everything I got to my team every single day. I bring levels of intensity. I bring levels of care. And my biggest fault sometimes is that I would care too much. And a couple of examples, guys, and I promise I'm not totally choking up here. Okay. An example of this. I was, before I became partners with Brian and Francis, I was at another company. And I completely transformed that company's culture. Their numbers, when I got there, they were doing less than $1 million a year. I implemented, my own strategies, my own philosophies. And by the time I left there, I got that company to around $12 million a year annually before coming on with Brian and Francis. And in that, the owner of that company had a mastermind group where he would coach other business owners. And the biggest thing is that you could bring your problems to them. You could consult with his staff. And the one time that I was actually involved in that mastermind, one of his students had a sales floor, had a sales manager, and they were struggling horribly. And they were like, hey, why don't you come, bring him with you, and he can talk to Rich, and they can sit there and, brainstorm and, talking about the success that we've had. So this guy gets there, and I'm kind of excited. I'm like, okay, I get to talk about what I know. I get to brainstorm. I get to pick his brain, talk about what I do, because I never got to really do that publicly. I'm upstairs, running the team. And what was so off-putting to me, and this is where I started to realize that, guys, we're talking probably 12 years ago, but where I started to realize that it was about that the culture started with leadership is when I sat down in the office with the guy. I was like, okay, man, it's good to meet you. He was like, yeah. So listen, tell me what you do. And I'm like, okay, like what I do with what? Like, just tell me what you do, man. Tell me how you're getting them to perform. And so I start kind of going down the list a little bit. I'm like, kind of like, oh, this is weird, but okay, so this is what I do. And this is how I train them. This is kind of where I take it here and there. And he goes, yeah. I know all that. But just tell me how to get them to perform. Tell me what you do to do that. So I'm like, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm actually telling you what I do to do that. But okay, so I kind of start over. And he goes, yeah, I know that. But I know you have a phenomenal script. Give me your script, because that's what I think they need. I said, well, let's take a step back for a second, man. I was like, and you got to imagine, guys, this guy, right? He was the stereotypical, and I don't mean to insult anybody in here, but I'm talking about 1980s used car salesman. Okay, he had a 5 o'clock shadow. Okay. He was wearing, he's wearing a dress shirt, no tie, dress pants, dress shoes, and, kind of balding, pack of smokes in his front pocket, right? Sleeves a little bit rolled up. So anyways, I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, okay, so I'm starting to get annoyed now, because at this point I had taken 6 individuals to, I think at that time we had about between 20 and 30 sales staff, right? And I put a lot of time, a lot of effort. I was pretty proud of what I did. And I started feeling like, hey man, this guy's just discounting me, like, dude, you just want me to just tell you real quick. There is no real quick here. This is going to be a process no matter what kind of information I give you right now. And so he kept saying it. And I said, okay, well, just tell me a second, man. Just tell me about your day. Tell me what your main problem is. Well, the salespeople are lazy, and they're reading the script. They're sounding like they're reading the script. And I said, well, do you train on that? Yeah, man, I do script training all the time. I just need a better script. And I'm like, well, you just said they sound like they're reading a script. So you said that's the problem, right? And I'm just thinking these things. And I said, so, well, tell me what your day looks like. He's like, well, I get there. I'm waiting for him to get there. And, they show up and get to work. I said, okay, so what's your interaction with him? Do you have a daily meeting? He's like, no. I have a rule. There's no daily meetings. When you get to work, you get there 5 minutes early, you log in and you just get to work. And I'm saying, okay, you don't greet them or anything? He's like, no. The biggest problem with them is that they're lazy. They're not listening. They're not doing what I tell them to do. And so quickly I'm starting to identify, number one, I'm annoyed, right? But quickly I'm identifying, okay, the problem isn't your people. The problem is you. You are the problem. And because, and I see managers do it all the time, because guys, I do consult with individuals and companies on these things all the time. And the first thing I always look at is, let me hear what you think your problem is. And they might be valid, but I'm also wanting to know what your leadership team looks like, what their daily interaction is, what their schedule looks like on a daily basis. And I'm like, okay, well, do you have a way to listen to their calls? And he's like, well, yeah, I listen to their calls, but they're just like talking and they're not really doing anything. I said, so what direction do you give them? Well, I just tell him, I'm like, you guys got to make it more like a conversation. And I'm like, okay, this guy truly, truly doesn't know what he's doing. And he said to me, I just need to know how you're getting your team to perform. Tell me how to do that. And I need your script. And then I sat there and I thought, okay, you want magic beans. You are asking me for magic beans. And I have like a little analogy with that, okay? It's like a guy that wants to be a wizard, right? As funny as that might sound, guy that wants to be a wizard. So he goes out and he buys the wizard hat. He buys the wizard beard, right? He's got the wizard robe. He's got the little elf shoes, and he gets from Amazon, he gets the wizard staff in the mail. And he's like, all right. So he's standing in my office. This is what I'm picturing. And he's dressed like a wizard. He's like, I got all this stuff, man. I know all this stuff. I'm a wizard. I watch the movies. Now all I need is the magic. That's all I need. I just need you to give me a magic because I look like a wizard. I talk like a wizard. I'm dressed like one. I need you to give. And I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. This is what I thought. I'm going to give you magic beans, dude. That's what you want. You're wasting my time because I need to be out on the floor with my team right now. That's what I told this dude. And I said, here's what you do. You get there, you role play. I gave him so basic, generic information. He's like, yeah, I do all that. But I'm like, yeah, man, but just try it this way. And here's my script. Number one, that guy didn't last. Okay. He went back to wherever he was from, Texas, actually, and didn't last. I still keep in contact with the guy now because I ran into him at a couple of masterminds. And he went off on his own and he's still having the same problem. Right? He's got a small little agency, but his biggest thing was, I'm still having to get on the phone all the time, just grinding away. And so what are you doing? And I tell him a little bit about the little bit of AI we've been able to implement and things like that. Yeah, AI, I've been thinking about that, man. I need to get with you on that. I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, but man, there's nothing like just being on the phone. And guys, look, I come from the old school of selling myself. So I believe in that. I believe in picking up the phone, working hard, dialing. I do. But the thing is that and this even goes to training just regular salespeople, right? The reason that guy couldn't get anything out of his team is because he wasn't giving them anything. He wasn't giving them any part of himself. Zero. There was no belief in them from him. There was no encouragement. There was only negativity. And that's the one thing that I've learned over the years about what I would call amateur sales managers is that when times are good, they're taking the credit for it with the general manager, with the owner of the company, and they're high-fiving their team. But the biggest thing is when numbers are low, what they're doing is it's the salespeople. Don't worry, Jim. I'm going to get them in shape. These guys, they're going to dial more. I'm going to have them work longer. Yeah, they're just lazy. You know how salespeople can be. And they do that. And those, they start jumping jobs a whole bit. So the reason I wanted to tell you guys that story is because that's when I really started to realize how important building that belief system, building that vision with yourself, your company, and your staff. And I spoke about this before, but getting them to buy in and believe it. Because guys, especially in sales and really anybody that has any employees, doing anything just generically, because dude, I can go into any company right now and teach anybody how to sell. I can teach anybody how to close, but it's going to be worthless if when I leave, they don't have a good culture to be a part of. If they don't believe in what they're doing, if they don't believe in the person that's overseeing them, if they don't believe in what the owner is trying to do, if they don't even know what the company vision is, it's deadly to a company to train a salesperson, teach them really how to close and give them nothing to push for. And so when I started thinking about all those years ago, I've just carried that with me. And one of the things that I can tell you about my experience right now, there's been a couple of times since we've been in business that it looked dark, right? I mean, there was COVID happened, and there was a couple of times that our affiliates who do some of our marketing leads were low, and some projects were looking like, man, we might have to do away with this project. It's going to cost us revenue. It's going to cost us really good people. And when that happened, and I'm going to tell you guys, we have men, we have women sales staff, both male and female. And ego check for the guys in here, but I'm going to tell you right now, the females that I have on my staff are monsters. They are no, because this is real. They are fierce individuals. They're single. Most of them are single moms, right? Or single by themselves. In my top three, some of you might know Victoria, but Victoria, Amanda, Kelly, these are, and this is the power, guys, of having a good culture, having belief, showing them that, hey, man, there's nothing I'm going to ask you to do, tell you to do that I haven't done myself or will not do with you right now. I will spend all the time, invest all the time needed, whether it's personal problems, helping you get better every single day. I'm in the conference room running my mouth, talking about sales, talking about getting them to believe in themselves, getting them to push more, knowing that they're capable of more, even if they think they've plateaued, even if they think they can't get better. I'm there. I believe in you. No matter what happens, rain or shine, I'm going to be right here next to you, right? That's just a small bit. So, but not only are they talented and fierce, but when it came to like, hey, guys, this project might be going away. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull out of this or not. And I'm like, look, I can try to switch you guys to other teams, but this might be it. And I'm just being real with you guys that we've had to have those conversations sometimes because it got that dark at times. I had a couple of guys come to me, be like, hey man, should I look for something else? I mean, what's going on? You know? And I'm like, listen, and I told him, I said, look, in order to get through this, it's going to take all you got. I'm going to ask everything from you. I'm going to give you everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to give you more than I ever have. Support. I'll get on calls with you, whatever it takes. But believe me, and we're standing in a group and you guys can ask Mike, the sales director. I'm like, listen, I need you guys. And there was like a small group of us. I need you to look behind you. And everybody looks behind him. I said, there is nobody standing there. It is just you. Nobody's going to do this but you. There's nobody that's got your back but me and Mike and the company. And the only way we make it through this is you guys. So if you think that you have something to fall back on, if you think there's time to put your feet up or relax, it's not. It's now or never. And I need it, and I need it every day. And you can't slow down. You can't let your foot off the gas. You can't take breaks. You can't take lunches. I'm gonna get lunch in every single day, and I need everything you got to be able to make it through this rough patch, or it's over. Like I said, I had guys come to me. Should I look? The women that I just mentioned are staring me dead in the face in the conference room with a blank look on their face. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of scary, right? You know, there's no emotion there. And about an hour later, but they're just dead, just poker face, just staring at me. About an hour later, Victoria sends a group text straight up and said, I'm in. We're going to do this. Amanda chimed in. Kelly chimed in. Amanda, single mother. Victoria, single mother. Commission-only salespeople. Kelly, mom in and out of the hospital, the only person that can take care of her mom. The only person alive, right, that can take care of her mom outside of a hospital. Commission-only salespeople, and it is raining, and there's a black hole about to swallow the planet. And the first one to text was Victoria. The second one, 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later, Amanda, Kelly, we're in. Hell yeah, they used some other choice words, but they were using them. And I'm telling you right now, the determination that those women showed far outweighed what I got from the guys. And that is, there you go, right? But that is the absolute truth, guys, right? Whether you like it or not, it's the absolute truth. And as proud as I was of them, what it said to me, that if all these years I had not been giving them all I got, and guys, look, I get up early every single day. I do this, I do that. I don't do that to say, hey, I'm the guy that gets up and I do push-ups and I do all this crap, right? No, I get up for a purpose. I have my routine. But my routine more so isn't just for me. It's so that when I flip the lights on at the office, I'm the first one there. I'm ready to go. By the time my team starts coming in about 8:45, 9 o'clock, right? I'm not looking for my first cup of coffee. I'm not looking to wipe the sleepies out of my eyes. I'm there ready to go to give them all I got. I'm awake. I'm aware. I have a plan for the day. I'm going to high five and welcome everybody. I'm going to talk to every single person before they get started. We're going to have a quick 15-minute, and if you know me well enough, it's never 15 minutes, but we're going to have a quick 15-minute training, 15-minute meeting. Let's get up. And guys, and don't get me wrong, we're not the rah type of sales company. We're very serious. We're very passionate about what we do. We're very, very good at what we do. And it's not all business, man. We have fun doing what we do together. But guys, if I'm the last one there because I can be, that's not doing them any service. It's doing them a disservice. If I'm not engaging every single one of them every single day, letting them know, hey, rain or shine, good or bad, good day yesterday, bad day yesterday, high five, we're going to go after it today. I got your back. Come talk to me if you need anything, whatever it is. If I hadn't been doing that, because once you do that, you train salespeople and you put leadership in place, or you start to put your feet up on the desk and you start to take time off and you start to do all these things, and you got trained salespeople, when things get tough, they're going to jump ship immediately. They're going to be on to the next sales job. And then you create those career job jumping salespeople, right? So that's the importance of it. And so when I'm going back to thinking about that guy, where I really started thinking that, man, the problem is you. The problem is your belief in yourself. You're not passionate about what you do, number one. You're the sales guy that cracks the paper, puts your feet up on the desk, and then complains when things don't go your way. And the more importantly than that, you don't have the skill set, you don't have the mindset to be able to get those people out of that situation, because you don't know what to do with them. You don't know them. You don't know them on a personal level. You don't know them about their families. You know them about their numbers. Pass or fail, you're crap, you're not, you're my superstar, what have you. And yesterday, there's a guy named Richmond, right? I don't know if he's in here right now, but Richmond, he saw me speak the last time and he said, man, I talked to a company about you. I've been talking to this company about you that's having problems with their sales staff. They've been through 2 sales teams already. They're really struggling. They're getting sales, but man, they don't have any real closers. And the first thing I thought about was, what's their leadership doing? Why have they gone through 2 full sales teams? Why do they have salespeople and not closers? What's their training? I'm thinking about this, and I told him, man, I'd be honored for any opportunity, right? I'll talk to the company, I'll see what's going on, if it's a good fit, I'm gonna make it happen, right? But the first thing I thought about is what their culture looks like. Then to a couple of A3 students talked to me in the back yesterday, and they were like, hey, we would like some help with sales, and that's, I need to take my sales game to the next level. And I'm like, yeah, man, I mean, here, I can give you my number. I'll do anything for you guys, especially A3. I'm like, come on, man, let's go, and then they're like, so they kind of asked me, not the wrong question, but the wrong question. They're like, so tell us about what you do and how you, sell. So I start going into my process. Now I have a passion for what I do, guys, especially when it comes to training and developing, and especially when it comes to sales. Okay. So I start going down and I start getting hype with these guys right over there in the back on a break. And then I see one of the guys, his face just kind of starts to go back like this, and his eyes are getting wide, and I'm going in. I'm like, and then blah, blah, blah. And then this is what I do, and this is what I think. And I said, guys, I'm sorry. I get excited. I got goosebumps right now. That's how I was really like. So I was probably kind of jittery and scary, but I can see that there's some overwhelmingness coming on. And, but I said, yeah, man, we can exchange numbers, and then we'll get on Zoom calls, whatever you guys need, man. Just, we'll schedule it, and I'll work with you. And then, but I kept going, and I was going 100 miles an hour. And then one of the guys was like starting to back up, and he's like, all right, man, that's cool. And the other guy's pulling his phone out, and I'm kind of like, well, hold on, man. I mean, like, where are you going? We haven't exchanged numbers yet. And he's like, yeah, man, you're going to the mixer tonight, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. And he's like, oh yeah, we'll talk then. I'm like, dude, no, man, just give me I'll call you right now, you know? And he's like, oh, but you could tell, I was like, oh, okay, man. Okay. That's enough, because when I really get going on stuff like that, guys, I get super passionate about it. And I'm like, I'm willing to help everybody. Then I talked to a woman. I don't know if she's in the room, Karen. She's in real estate, which a lot of you are. And she was telling me about how long she's been following us and how much inspiration she's gotten from like Brian and Francis and the things that they've done online. And I think one of the virtual events. And she was like, you know, I've been telling my real estate company all about this. I would love you guys to come and talk to them. And that kind of spoke to me. I'm like, man, this is like her first real event that she's been with us, and she's pitching us to her company. Right. So that spoke to me a little bit. I'm like, man, that's something. I'm going to have to remember that. Now, I was like with Richmond, I'm like, I'm going to have to remember that. I'm going to have to remember to talk about that tomorrow. Then I talked to another individual that was the same thing. You know, I really like, do you teach sales? Do you do this? I'm like, absolutely. We can get together. We can do it, you know, whatever. But then I talked to a couple. I don't know. I don't know if they're in the room. They're from Montreal. And their whole idea is to use this platform, the platform that we're on, the platform that we're building, to change the education or the face of education in Canada. The Bertram, I think his name is. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he was. Say it again. Yeah. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I plan on taking this to the superintendent, you know, and I'm going to start there, and then we're going to take it and we're going to blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you know, teachers are afraid, you know, AI is going to put them out of business. And it's not about putting them out of business. It's about helping them educate our children better, making their job easier, more effective, so they can spend more time helping develop those children. I mean, a whole game plan. And that spoke volumes to me on what we're doing. Because it's like, this is their first event that they've been to, and their plan is to use our knowledge, right? Our knowledge, our systems, our methodologies to change the face of education in Canada. And later on last night, and that just stood out to me, right? And I'm like, man, I might have to add that in tomorrow. And this is where I came up to like really change everything about what I was doing today, guys. I talked to a lady, Gail, another Canadian, last night at the little pub over here, and it was late. It was about 11:30, almost midnight. And she said, I just want to let you know what you guys are doing is special. She said, I want to let you know it's like a breath of fresh air. That I know that there's education companies out there. I know there's these different things out there, and everybody, you know, has to, you know, everybody's in it to make money and everything. And I know it's a business, but she said, the levels you guys go to, mostly speaking about my partners, especially Brian and Francis, the levels you guys go to, the information you give, she said, you guys can never be apart. You can never stop doing this. You guys have something so special that you have to keep this going no matter what. She was like, there's nothing like this anywhere else. The authenticity and the genuine want, right? And then, so I started thinking about the leadership aspect of this and how leadership translates into developing a culture, because truly, guys, the best leaders in the history of history have all been selfless, and they lead a life of service to their people, to their teammates, to their employees, because being a true leader is leading a life of service. And then I started thinking of what we wanted to do when we started this 8.5 years ago. What made me quit my high-paying job where I was at the top of the food chain with no guarantees. It was, we were behind some of the biggest companies back then, especially in the information marketing arena. And they said, we've been behind these big companies. We are the guys that make the wheels go round. We know what they do good. We know what they do bad. And we can do it better. We can take what they do bad and improve it. We can take what they do good and take it to the next level. And we want to take over this industry. We want to make a difference, and we want to be a company. And this is where our name kind of came from with the real. We want to be completely real with everything that we do. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're not going to do no fluff. We're not going to over exaggerate. We're going to go out there and do things better than everybody else and take over this entire industry. That's exactly what we did. But last night, when Gail said that to me, it truly made me realize we were living what we were talking about back then. And the feedback that I got from all of you guys yesterday, the feedback of, I've been watching you guys and you guys have inspired me to do this, and I haven't done anything yet, but this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. You guys have done this. You guys have done that. I've been watching you, and what you guys are doing, I want to take it and do this. And as passionate as I am about building a real culture, a solid culture, a thriving culture, my partners are equally as passionate. And just by being who they are, who I am, who we are together, has inspired people. And check out the culture that we're building, the community that we're building. Look at the people in this room. Some people have been here before at our live events. Some of you guys, this is your first time. You've seen us online. But think about the things that have inspired you to be here that you've heard from us. And I realized it all at once last night. I was like, holy crap, man. This is exactly what we set out to do. And we've had some monster success up to this point. But look at what we're doing now. Look at what we said we wanted and what she is telling me, what these other individuals have told me. And just by setting out being the people we are, the true leaders that we are, because so many people last night, what you guys give selflessly. I mean, it's no matter if we ever went to the next level or not, just the information alone you're willing to share. Man, that inspires people, and that's building a true culture, a real culture, a community that depends on one another, that inspires one another. And that's why I'm so proud. And guys, that's why I'm so proud of what we've accomplished here, right? Patting ourselves on the back. That's not really my style, but guys, I got seriously moved yesterday with hearing this, and it helped me realize that, oh my God, we're actually doing everything we set out to. But more importantly, guys, we could not have done it without you guys. Because as good as we are, as big as we want to be, as much as we want to give back, dude, we would be nothing without you guys sitting there right now. I appreciate it. I know my partners appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you, man, no matter what, no matter where you're at in life, and I hope you all know this, no matter what, you can always count on us to have your back. You can always count on us if you're in need and you need answers, you need help, support. We're going to be there for you. We've done it with our own companies, with our own team. And when we say community, when we say culture, when we say family, we truly, truly mean it. And we consider each and every one of you guys a part of our family.
That's a wrap for this episode of the AI for Business podcast. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit subscribe and pass it along to a friend or colleague. We appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you in the next one.